So I worked with class acts for most of my career. So really great experience. We mostly booked a lot of cover bands in Columbus, but we didn't work a lot with original music in Columbus, which and wanted to get involved with more. So a few years ago, I started Columbus Originals. So that's the name of my booking agency. So I mostly work with original bands from Columbus for concert series, for festivals, for performing arts centers.
So, what's something that musicians would be, I guess, surprised to learn, even just from a booking perspective in general?
From a booking perspective, if it takes an artist days to get back to me about their availability, that gig is probably gone. I think a lot of musicians kind of discount how that don't really treat it like a business. You know, if you're performing live and especially if you're making money, that's a business and you need to treat it like that. So it's really important to be organized and to be a really great communicator, which not every musician is great at.
Right.
So, it's important to be responsive. And even if the answer is no, tell me no so I can move on. And, I'm more likely to call you back again if you're more responsive than if you don't respond to me at all.
It's like a huge pet peeve of mine. So, as a booking agent, you're constantly navigating the line between art and business, probably want to like book the best artists. And we just talked about kind of the business thing. So, it's like, how do you navigate and what are like difficulties with that?
Music is so subjective. The best artist to me and you and
Yeah.
somebody else is that's all completely different. So what I really look for in artists that I work with is certainly professionalism and certainly talent, but then also authenticity. I want artists that are really and truly creating something that's unique in their own sound. There are so many groups that end up sounding alike after a while, and that kind of gets boring. I personally am driven by really outstanding performances, really compelling music, really interesting artists, things that are different and things that are challenging. I really like that. So, I encourage every artist to be really authentic and true to themselves.
I'm curious. Are you having problems right now? Like, since
Mhm.
the pandemic and like just the last year has been difficult, like motivating to perform, motivating to get out there.
Yeah.
Is that a
Yeah,
thing?
absolutely. I'm really optimistic right now about next year, but the truth is that we're still, on pretty shaky ground. We're definitely not out of the woods yet.
Yeah.
And, it can be really hard to motivate yourself to even try. But what else can you do?
Yeah.
So, I think that it's important that we keep trying. And again, I think that next year is going to certainly be a lot better than it has been for the past couple of years for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I absolutely went through phases where it's like, what's the point? What's the point of doing anything? Because
Yeah.
what do you plan for? Especially, in the middle of everything, you would plan something and it would get canceled. And, there were artists that, you know, I had planned on working on tours with that it was like, what's the point of doing the tour? If one of the cities drops off in the middle, the whole tour is just like screwed. So
Yeah.
why even do it? So yeah, it's definitely been disheartening, but I am starting to get to a more optimistic point for next year and feel like we'll be close to normal. Um, I think there are a couple of different ways that this can go. I think there are a lot of places that have had to cancel their seasons. Like there are some clients that I'm working with that they are now programming their 2022 series using 2020 artists that
Wow.
they had to cancel and rebook and cancel and rebook.
Yeah.
So there are fewer opportunities as far as that goes. But then there have also been a lot of grants awarded to people too, especially municipalities and performing arts centers and theaters that have money to spend on
Yeah.
these kinds of things. So it's worth trying. And I'm hopeful that especially next year, if things really look better, that we'll see this finally, this boom in entertainment, hopefully.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm feeling now.